Perfect. Hello, my name is Nima Bagheri. I'm cybersecurity expert. I started my cybersecurity journey back in 2003 as the project leader of Fruitkin.com. Then in 2006, I started my own anti-malware company, UOVD Security. In 2013, I moved to United States and began working for Dell Sonicwell as a senior security researcher. Finally, in 2024, I started my own company, Venak Security. Today, I would like to talk about how hackers exploit vulnerable software to bypass EDRs. Who is Venak Security? Well, we are a MSSP, and we provide cybersecurity services for a small, medium-sized company. Also, we help cybersecurity vendors. We provide red team testing for them, quality assurance. We also a security provider. For our next chapter, we also want to become a tester, so we can also testing anti-virus products and EDRs. So how hackers bypassing EDRs, as you know, endpoint detection and response tools are the important for keeping modern businesses secure. However, skilled hackers and ransomware attackers often find new evasion techniques to bypass them. Today, we're gonna talk about 4 of these methods that been using in underground, black market, and cyber criminals. So what evasion techniques are hackers are using to bypass EDRs? One of them is LOLBins. Basically, they're abusing legitimate system binaries for malicious execution. Another one is process hollowing, that injecting malicious code into the suspending legitimate process. Another one is DLL side loading, basically exploiting vulnerable application to load malicious DLLs from a non-start path. And the last one is DLL proxying, using legitimate DLL as a proxy to forward execution to hidden malicious payloads. Today, we're going to have a demo of each of these type of attacks, and we're going to show you a real-life example that how hackers bypass EDRs, and also we do have some demos that we created at Venak Security, and is basically 0 days, and then we discovered some 0 days in the softwares that hackers possibly can use it to bypass EDRs, and we're going to show you some of the examples here. So how it works is basically each of these methods leverage legitimate software behavior to execute malicious code under the radar of the behavioral analysis, machine learning models, and a signature engine. Basically, these hackers are using these methods to kind of like proving to the vendor that, oh, this is a legitimate software, so you shouldn't flag it. Let me show you some of the examples here. What LOLBins are basically pre-installed Microsoft binaries that can be abused to perform malicious actions without dropping a new executable. And the reason why EDR fails that, well, basically is because those are mostly whitelisted by default. You know, this part of the Windows machine. And another reason is high variety of a legitimate use. It can be used daily with users, and no file creation events, like there's no file are gonna drop on the machine, you know, and also has a digital signature from Microsoft. Like, this is a really big problem. And I we're going to show you the example. Here basically is a campaign that has been created by a cyber criminal called Fin6. Is a financially motivated threat actor known for targeting payment system and deploying ransomwares. As you can see here in the picture, here it says this image is an image of a LNK file. Basically, for example, you receive an email that there is an attachment on the zip file, and there is a zip file. It's just only a one LNK file. It's just only a link file. There is no executable involved in this thing. So what it does, that basically when you open and you click on the link file, as you can see here, it says %app data %adobe, and then you see IEUT.exe. Basically, this is kind of they made it somehow to track the EDR system or spamming system that this is a legitimate and this is clean, so they're not able to the EDRs and spam filters are not able to catch it. But however, when you run it on the system, what does is basically xcopy.exe, that this file IE4 unit, which is an executable file signed, has a digital signature, and is signed by Microsoft. So this is truly a legitimate executable file. However, hackers using it to loading their own module, like basically they use this executable file that runs their own malware, and that's how they were very successful when they run their campaign. Is another example? This actually was new to myself when we saw it. This is from another campaign. It's not related to Fin6, another campaign, but as you can see here, the hackers, they were using the msixc.exe, which is a file for installing executable setups on your machine, and they're basically downloading their own malicious payload, and then run it on the machine. This was the first time I actually noticed that myself, that you can do that. I didn't know that until we reached out to this investigation for one of our customers. So it's really interesting to see that this image is from one of our customers. Like this is that happens that on their machine. There are other examples. There are other real world campaigns that the cyber criminal using it. For example, Cockbot in 2005, they've been using msha.exe and JavaScript to bypass EDRs. Lockbit 4.0, I'm sure a lot of you been heard about this group. They used certutl.exe plus run.exe for loading and payloading their signature. And there was APT41 that they also used registrar32.exe with .sc files for their own C2 command and control. So they basically won't get caught. Allow me to show you some of the example for process hollowing. Well, you might ask what process hollowing is. Basically, process hollowing is a technique that used by malware to inject malicious code into the memory of a legitimate running process. For example, you're running an application on Windows, and what hackers does that basically they suspend that process. When they suspend that process, then they will inject and insert their code inside that region that they know that code might work, and then resume the application. And then basically the legitimate app will run their code. And why did EDR fail in the system? most of the time is because, well, no malicious files on the disk. When it's running, it could be run by the similar example, the Elenka that I showed you, or it could be run in the DLL. It could be run on executable, and also there is no malicious files on the disk. So and everything is going to be happen inside the memory. Injecting happens while the process is suspended. So mostly, the app is not aware of this manipulation, thanks to design of a Windows, basically. And also, EDR hooks not active during a suspended state. That's another issue with most of the EDRs. Some EDRs are basically have the hooks, and even they suspended. If the process gets suspended, they also won't let that injection happen. Like they're blocked the injection into another memory. And also is how the problem is that if every EDR wants to search for this such an injection, that would cost like a high false positive rate on a legitimate injection, because well, injection is also part of a Windows, and the hackers are abusing it, and if that could be a cause a problem there. Let me show you some of these process hollowing example. This is actually created by our own AI malware simulator. And then you can see there's a cmd.exe here, and here we create the shellcode that's a message box inside the cmd.exe. We're gonna have show you another demo of another trick of this that we done with the cmd.exe is in the next chapter. However, for this example, we decided to find one cyber criminal that they have done this technique, and then they would selling it in the black market, and they actually create a video of an example, and I'm gonna show it to you here. Is basically they run, and you see is searching for the estate code here, and it says hello world. Basically, this is from hello world. This is from the Windows Explorer. Basically, what they done that they find is a place that is there inside their explorer.exe, and then they injected code, and as you can see, it's just like show you in the other page, there was a message box. They did the same thing, but you can basically run your own code there. You can make it as a ransomware, you can make it as whatever you want, but whatever code that you want, you can put inside that section. So real world campaigns that they they have been done with the bad guys is well, Fin6 cybercriminal. They target retail system, injecting code into the process like Explorer exe. As I just demoed for you, this is and also this is actually was not Fin6. The video that I showed to you, it was not Fin6, it was another cyber criminal. So you can see that how is often, like how happens a lot, that bad guys is selling this their malicious executable on the black market. There's a trick bot also uses process hollowing to inject into the svc host.exe for banking fraud and spreading additional malware. Emote, I'm pretty sure a lot of you heard about it, does the same thing. Cutbot, it seems like they're using all their these techniques to bypass legitimate process, bypass EDRs. I'm sorry. And then hides ransomware, also using process hollowing to evade detection. Next is DLL side loading. So DLL side loading basically is an attack method that takes advantage of how Windows loads dynamic link libraries, DLLs. And it exploits the fact that many of applications search for a required DLL in a specific directories, and sometimes trust whatever DLL they find first. This kind of issue of Windows, but when if you're a vendor and you um, uh, develop your software, you need to be aware of what are you loading in your system, what DLL are you loading in your system, what function are you using. This actually can be prevented very easy by simply just putting a code that inside your application that to do not get so DLLs not get loaded without verifications, or DLL not get loaded without digital signatures. And we here at Venak Security, we discovered over 100 of vendors that they're suffering from these issues, and we created some 0 days that I'm going to show you some of their demos in when we move forward. So why EDRs fail here? It's mostly because, well, the executable that loads the DLL has a legitimate signed executable, and malicious DLL has the same name as expected as legitimate DLL. Again, no malicious files drop in the system directory. It's just loading it when it close to the executable file. DLL loaded from a writable non-system path, which is kind of a normal behavior, and digital signature on the main exe mask the attack. Allow me to show you examples. So this is what I ever had. I had an explanation. This is basically like attacker prepared a malicious DLL. They leave it close to the vulnerable software that is already has a digital signature, and then if the vendor forgets to check where to search the DLL, we were going to load the DLL. And if it fails, well, that means that your software is not vulnerable. This is one of examples that you can see. Like, this is how a hacker will find if the software has a vulnerability. You see here, this is an app from a company called Proton Pass. I don't know if you heard about this company. Basically, here you see this is the file that Proton used, and it says scroll.exe is looking for this specific .dll, crypto-based.dll, and you see here is that name not found. Basically, you see that this DLL is loading here into this folder. It's a folder of the Proton Pass. So the developer, when the vendor was developing this, they forgot to remove that code to not or prevent this code to load. So if I'm a bad guy, if I put my malicious DLL here in next to the file that been using Proton Pass, it's basically loading my malicious code into this. And here you can see when you click here on scroll.exe, it says hello from Venak Security. We're going to have see the actually live demo of this one, but I just want to mention because it will pop up and will went away very fast. But I want to take a screenshot of this, so that way if you saw a pop-up, it actually says hello from Venak Security. So here is the demo, and as you can see here, we want to show that this is a legitimate. So this is the folder that I just mentioned. Hackers can use that for attach it to create a zip file or send it through mail. As you can see here, it has a digital signature, so EDRs, then they won't run it. As you can see here, I just click on it and it ran my code. Hello from Venak Security. So is one demo here on and I actually want to run in a second here too. Well, yeah, you can run it from whatever. You can run it from command prompt, or you can just click on it, and it will works either way. And here is actually Proton Pass. So here we're advanced here, and as you can see, this is a actual Proton Pass, and we kind of enhanced it so you can see that if the bad guys basically can turn to Proton Pass to be work as a ransomware here. Here you see when I clicked on the Proton Pass, it is here. It started to do RSMs. It basically run the malicious code, and Proton Pass now becoming a ransomware. Basically, the software is there. It works no problem. But on the background, he's actually starting to attack to the system. So there are multiple real-world campaigns. Dragon Breath, ATP Q27. They use double-layer DLL side loading with Trojanized apps like Telegram, WhatsApp, backdoors. You saw the ransomware version of it that we've created at Venak Security just for demo purposes. Dark 8 using the CVE 2024 delivered the same malware via MSI that launched sign executable to load a malicious file there. But they bundled a begin executable with the malicious DLL, so the signed binaries would load the occupied payloads. And Gold Blade also used the remote DLL side loading via the link files, LNCAN files that we saw in our first example, and they basically load the malware. And last, but at least DLL proxying. This is basically one of my favorite one. Because when DLL proxying is happen, the application is it works as usual. You could be target of DLL proxying, and you can use the software for many years, and you will still not be aware that your computer is being targeted by bad guys. Because whatever happens here is that basically the software doesn't change behavior. Whatever happens is that the hacker is gonna create a replica DLL, and it works just like the DLL is in the system, but they also create a proxy DLL that they load their malicious code. So for example, if your web browser, if you're using a web browser and the web browser is vulnerable to this technique, whatever happened that every banking information that you use, every website that you check, every email that you send can be seen by bad guys, or even if an intelligent created such a thing, that basically they will capture everything, and it looks like legitimate. There is nothing suspicious, and is basically gonna remains on the system, as long as it get discovered by a EDR company or antivirus company. So today, actually, we want to show you a demo here. Basically, this is what I explained here. Just like the DLL side loading, but the difference is this is moving forward. So another DLL would be involved on this. This is what we did. This is part of our AI malware simulator company, AI malware simulator engine that we did this in our company. And then as you can see, this is a command prompt. This is a cmd.exe, and we kind of enhanced it to we work as a ransomware. And as you can see here, this is a cmd.exe, and I'm going to show it to you. But if you pay attention here on the top, you see I just put the command. I put CLS, and so he's deleted the screen. I said I said dir, and is showing me the dir file. Here you see it's cmd.exe, it's already designed, verified with Microsoft. And here again, I put dir, and it just cleaned the screen, dir./s. See, is right now there are two functions of working in this process. One is cmd.exe that it takes all your command, and the other one is the ransomware that we did. There is a DLL ransomware that is already hooked in the system, and basically what we did this. This is a print that we did. So the print, so you will see that this basically works. I mean, this is for the demo, but however, this can be done by attackers to be hidden, like, and you can use CMD or you can use your web browser forever, and you not get involved that your system is under attack. So this is really important. And so if the companies has to have ability in order to be able to detect and block this threat. Back in I think date is here on August 1st, we were kind of doing a test of G-Data antivirus, and we noticed that I wanted to actually really appreciate the company G-Data, that they were able to block these vulnerability and what ransomware, zero-day ransomware that we have designed. They have done a fantastic job in blocking our 0 days, and I wanted to really congratulate them. And as you can see, they block after 50 files are getting damaged by our ransomware, and the engine will get involved, and they will block this 0-day vulnerability. To be clear, G-Data is not a sponsor. They're not working with us at all, but they have done a fantastic work. I wanted to congratulate them, their team, for the great work, and we wanted to see more of these design, EDR design that blocks 0 day. Real world campaigns again for the DLL proxying, directs use DLL hijacking, Cobalt strike, it's Bacon payloads, commonly use DLL proxying. Lazarus Group, I don't know if you heard about them, probably you did. They use the DLL proxying to load encrypted payloads. APT28, they've been using DLL site loading for pricing technique, and Bazaar Loader basically does the same thing, dropping a DLL with legitimate application folder, just like the examples that we showed to you. So the era of the bring your own malware is over. Modern attackers living off the land, weaponizing native OS tools, memory manipulation, trusted executable context, and traditional defense failed because they hunt for the malware and not misuse. So it's very important that vendors to enhance their technology and get ready for our 0-day 2026 testing in March. We basically are gonna do testing, EDRs, and it's gonna be a lot of them, and we're gonna use our new 0-day techniques that some of them has been shown here, and also other techniques that gonna be used in the test. And run the other loaders, VC host, injector. It was not listed here, but they're also going to be used from the hackers. And also our methodology is based on AMTSO. We really appreciate AMTSO guys. This is actually the second year that I do have a presentation here, and hopefully we continue working with AMTSO. And thank you so much. And this is my information. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.